All right, hello everyone. Welcome to our 25th video session. Today we're going to be interviewing Ajay Gupta, the founder of the Kahani Project. Kahani means story in Hindi, is a not-for-profit, volunteer-driven organization that is making stories more accessible to children around the world. Ajay infuses songs, dance, and play into his storytelling sessions, and he loves to reach those kids who don't have access to libraries, books, and storytellers.
If you see that there is a lot of, especially in a country like India, there is a huge boom in children's literature. So when you were 5 years old, maybe or 6 years old, how many books did you have access to? You probably had already access to a library in the school. By the time you were 10-year-old, you probably had a couple of libraries, probably a community library, a school library. You went to university, you had a whole range of things available to you. But for a visually impaired child, that is not true. Even in some of the schools which are by the way amazing, they do a lot of great work with these children. We found that there was a complete lack of access to stories, and primarily because it's Braille is a great format, but it's also a format which is difficult to maintain, difficult to kind of create copies of, difficult to keep so many of them in the library. You can only have one or two copies. So we figured that there was this great need for nothing but children and listening to stories. So that's how it kind of that's the core philosophy. That's where it began from.
I have a question for you as well. You said about not collecting like quantitative or not measuring quantitative data. So what is your process of actually measuring the impact that you're having?
Yeah.
Or like having goals and being able to reach those? Like how do you measure that?
Yeah. So I know where you're coming from, but let me give you a very very simple example from my own life. So when I was in second or third grade, in our Hindi textbook, we had this beautiful story called Raste Ka Patthar. So it's about this guy who is going down the road, and he finds there is this stone in the middle of the road, and people are tripping and falling, and nobody does anything about it. They just curse the stone, curse the road, curse the administration, and move on. And there is this one boy who looks at this. He gets down from his bus or car, whatever he's traveling in, and with all his might, he pushes the stone off the road. Yeah, that's it. That's what the story was. Fourth grade. Even today, I'm 40 years old. If I see something on the road and I can physically move it, if I find a person, I would just go and move that obstruction out. Is there a quantitative way of measuring that? So I'll give you another example. So when we used to work with this the blind boys school, you have to understand that this is a school where these boys are going to be there from second grade or first grade till about 10th grade, and they come from all over India, mostly Maharashtra, Karnataka, and those areas. And these are second standard, third standard grade kids. They have never been outside their home, and they are and on the weekends, on Saturday and Sundays, they're missing home. Obviously, they're missing home. They're obviously crying, and when the storyteller comes in, so they would come in and they didn't want to sit in front of you. They would just want to come on your lap. Yeah. And they would listen to the story while touching your face, touching your throat, because they're trying to make a sensory experience of who you are and who's the storyteller and listen to it. And that for that 1 hour that they are there with you and they're listening to the story, they're not missing their parents. They are feeling very warm. They're feeling very safe and secure. How do you measure that? Do you have a quantitative way of measuring, that? I can do a lot of measurement. I can spend a lot of time saying, okay, before, after, what happened, but I don't think that's the point. The point is, can we have those moments of absolute joy and play and absolute moments of love and feeling secure, even if it's for